I'm reading from 3 passages in the Bible. The first one is Psalm 22. This psalm was written by King David approximately 1,000 years before Jesus was born. I'm just going to read selected verses. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me from the words of my groaning? But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by the people. All who see me mock me, and they make mouths at me. They wag their heads. He trusts in the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, for he delights in him. Many bulls encompass me. Strong bulls of Bashan surround me. They open wide their mouths at me, like a ravening and roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It is melted within my breast. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue sticks to my jaws. You lay me in the dust of death. For dogs encompass me, a company of evildoers encircles me. They have pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. They stare and gloat over me. They divide my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. So that's 1,000 years before Jesus was born. Now I'm going to read a verse from the prophet Zechariah. This was written approximately 500 years before Jesus was born. This is Zechariah 12, verse 10. And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and pleas for mercy, so that when they look on me, on him whom they have pierced, they shall mourn for him, as one mourns for an only child, and weep bitterly over him, as one weeps over a firstborn. So that was 500 years. This is just a small selection. This is the crucifixion of Jesus as recorded in the Gospel of Matthew. Reading from Matthew 27, verse 27 to 55. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole battalion before him, and they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and put a reed in his right hand, and kneeling before him, they mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they spit on him, and they took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him, and led him away to crucify him. As they went out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name, and they compelled this man to carry his cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall. but when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his garments among them by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch over him, and over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." Then 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. And those who passed by derided him, wagging their heads and saying, "You who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." So also the chief priests, with the scribes and the elders, mocked him, saying, "He saved others, he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he desires him. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" And the robbers who were crucified with him also reviled him in the same way. Now, from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," that is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And some of the bystanders, hearing it, said, "This man is calling Elijah." And one of them at once ran and took a sponge, filled it with wine, and put it on a reed and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him." And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. And behold, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split open, the tombs were also opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many. When the centurion and those who were with him, keeping watch over Jesus, saw the earthquake and what took place, they were filled with awe and said, "Truly, this was the Son of God." So I'm just going to read Psalm 22 again, what I read before, written 1,000 years before Jesus was born. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me from the words of my groaning? But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by the people. All who see me mock me. They make mouths at me. They wag their heads. He trusts in the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, for he delights in him. Many bulls encompass me. Strong bulls of Bashan surround me. They open wide their mouths at me like a ravening and roaring lion. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It is melted within my breast. My strength is dried up like a potsherd. My tongue sticks to my jaws. They lay me in the dust of death. For dogs encompass me. A company of evildoers encircles me. They have pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. They stare and gloat over me. They divide their garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. So Psalm 22 and Zechariah 12 verse 10 are what are known as Messianic prophecies, both to the Jews and to Christians. The Jews do not believe the Messiah has come yet. And that's kind of amazing when you see how specific those prophecies are and how they point to the crucifixion 1,000 years before crucifixion was invented. Of course, there's many details in there that match exactly what is written in the Gospel of Matthew and in the other 3 Gospels. And there are many other Messianic prophecies. There are hundreds of them. Another one is Isaiah 53, which I won't read now. But I would recommend reading it if this has said something to you. When I read all of this, I was blown away that no one had ever told me. No one. Even when I was in church as a child, no one had told me about these prophecies. So, God says that He tells the end from the beginning, the things that are not yet done. That's prophecy, and the Bible is full of it. And this is one of the major proofs that this is the word of the Lord. It really solidified everything for me in a powerful way. So, and there's no other text in the world that does this, not even vaguely, and it's 100% fulfilled. The thing about prophecy, as we think of it, I think in the modern world, is the word has been corrupted because people think of prophecy as some sort of vague foretelling of something very blurry. But biblical prophecy is 100%. And in fact, in the Old Testament, it says if a prophet prophesies something and it doesn't happen exactly as prophesied, do not regard him. So it's very specific. And so it's coming up to Easter, and it is I don't know what the word is. There's many things that strike me because I used to spend Easter partying. Just partying. And I think most people don't regard what it's really about. Obviously, it's not originally called Easter, it's the Passover. And Jesus is the Passover lamb who was slain for the sins of the world, the sacrifice. He paid the price that we could not pay. And he took the wrath of God upon himself. And then he rose in the flesh on the 3rd day. And he is seated at the right hand of the Father, so that all who believe in him will not perish, but have eternal life.